you for coming to Denver.
We're happy to be here.
Welcome.
So this is the room you want the ceiling fan in.
That would be great.
All right, well, we probably center it over this room, and I'm looking at a cathedral pitched ceiling. Scott, what do you think? How are we going to get it up there?
Well, we need to mount the ceiling fan to building structure. It's heavier than a light fixture. It needs to get secured right to the building itself, and we need to get power up there. So we could probably come off of this outlet right here. We could fish from the outlet up to a switch, and then from the switch we could come up the wall, across the ceiling, and down to the fan. But that's a pretty complicated installation, and it's going to mean putting a few holes in your wall.
Are there any other options?
You don't want all those holes in your house.
There's another option. We could put the fan on a remote control. It's wireless. We could attach it down here someplace so you can control it in the space that you're in.
So we'd have one less hole. We wouldn't have a switch in the wall, but it also mean less fishing of wire?
Less fishing. There's no wires down here at this location. We could come across at the easiest spot, which looks like up in the loft. Bring power to the fan and should be good.
Well, let's see what kind of power source we got up here.
All right.
All right, so we are looking for any power up here, and I already see some outlets on this wall. In fact, they wrap around the entire room, and I've got two on this knee wall. You want to tap into these?
We could, Kevin, but right here we have a switch box that most likely has power in it. We could fish right up this wall, into the ceiling, across to you, right down to the fan.
Okay.
But I don't have any attic access. How are you going to get a wire up and over? Isn't that going to be a mess?
We can, let me show you. Whitney, this is your ceiling and how it's framed. Outside we have the roof, we have our roof rafter, and below we have our drywall, which mounts directly to strapping, which mounts perpendicular to the roof rafters. And that strapping mounted to the roof rafter gives us a little void, which will allow us to snake the wires from one end to the other without any obstructions. The other area that we have is a rafter bay, which allows us to fish the wire down that bay endlessly right to your fan with no problems.
So it's really not a problem fishing wires up here in the ceiling, but there are two choke points.
There are. When I change directions, I need to cut an access point. And that access point allows me to pull the wire out, go the other direction.
Right. And then the second choke point is actually getting the wire into the ceiling assembly. Because remember, here's that light switch box, right? So you've got to come up from there.
That's correct. We have to come in and out of the light switch box. We have to drill through this top plate. Every wall has a top plate that mounts directly to the ceiling. So what we need to do, we need to drill a hole. We're going to come in at an angle, and that'll allow us to get into the ceiling bay, and we can do our fishing in any direction like we talked about.
So let's shut down the power and get working on that box.
Let's do it. I'm going to break off this tab with my needle nose pliers, and that'll allow us to get access to the wall with my fish tape. Great. Looks like we're all the way up to the top plate that I showed you. And what I usually do is put my finger right here, and I pull all the fish tape out. I can show you that we're right up to the top plate. To expose the top plate, I cut a notch in the wall using a keyhole saw. All right, so what we have here is the top plate right here, and this white pipe is a PVC vent pipe from down below, from your kitchen. So what we're going to do is we're going to sneak the drill right in through here and drill to the other side to get into the ceiling.
Great.
Great, we're through.
So we're through the top plate in this wall, which is right here, and that means we can fish a wire along the ceiling going in this direction, but we're going to have to turn and then continue fishing it down the ceiling in that direction. So at this turn, it's our first choke point.
That's right, so I need to cut an access hole. That access hole we could just cut and patch, or I could put in a fixture box for you, which would allow later on down the road to put a light fixture in. And this fixture box can be, for now, just covered with this plate. So the only thing that you're going to see is right there. The box comes with this template. I'm going to go ahead and trace it out. Beautiful. All right, before I install the box, let's run some wire. I'm going to run this 14 gauge wire with 3 conductors to the new electrical box. The bare copper wire is the ground, the white is the neutral, the black will serve as the hot, and the red will act as a switch leg, which will control that future light fixture. So the first thing we need to do is get this wire up to the first access point.
There's your fish.
So I'll take the fish tape here. We'll go ahead and put it right into the top hole of this box right here. And we should look for it right up top.
Even popped out for you.
All right, there we go. So now I need to take the wire, tie it onto the end of the fish tape. Now I have the electrical tape, which I'm going to wrap the wires so it'll go right up through the box really easily. All right, good. And I'll pull enough slack to get us right to the fixture.
All right, I think that's plenty.
All right.
Let me get the end of the fish tape for you.
All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and insert this into the hole that we drilled in the top plate. And you should be able to get it fairly easy.
A little further. One more. Yep, there it is.
All right, pull it out.
And there.
And you can go ahead and pull it all the way through.
And there's the wire.
There you go. All right, so now we're good to that point. We'll go ahead and snake the wire down to the fan location. Whitney, what we need to do first is cut a hole in the ceiling for the fan box. What I've done here is set up some scaffolding which will allow us to work at this height. Next, we're gonna go ahead and get a measurement off the wall. Kevin, what do you have for a measurement to the center of that box up there?
I've got 77 inches.
All right. All right, very good. Now we'll go ahead and cut the hole and mount the fan box to the structure. This is a standard light fixture box. Has the small metal tabs and the small screws are made for a regular light fixture. What we're going to use is a fan rated box. It has the same metal tabs for light fixture. However, we're going to use these threaded rods that are extra heavy duty to hold the weight of the fan. So what we need to do now is go ahead and trace this out on the ceiling and cut the hole. Okay, so it looks like there's no strapping in your ceiling. That is the bottom of the roof rafter right there. There's supposed to be a void right here, which we had actually found up in your loft. So this box that we originally talked about is not gonna work. It's too big. It won't fit in the space. So I've had this pancake box, which is a lot thinner, and we can go ahead and attach that to the bottom of the roof rafter, and that'll support your fan and be flush with the sheetrock. Okay, Kevin, push the snake down. Keep going. Keep going. Not yet, keep going. That's it, hold it, hold it. All right, go ahead, push. That's it, beautiful. So what I'm going to do is attach this 14-2 wire to the fish tape, and we're gonna pull this back to you. This wire has only 2 conductors. Because of the remote control, we won't need the 3rd switch leg conductor like we did in the loft. Kevin, go ahead and pull the snake.
Okay. Ah, there it is. All right, we got it.
All right, great. Let me come up there, we can make up that box. Nice and snug. Now I just need to splice the wires together, ground to ground, white to white, and black to black. We're not going to use the red wire, we're just going to leave that for the future. What I'll do now is put this button connector in. That'll hold the wire so that it doesn't pull out. Pushes right through the back, and it won't pull down. And I screw the pancake box directly to the roof rafter.
Hey, here it is.
Here's your new fan. It has a satin nickel finish. It has a light kit that we're going to mount on the bottom with wooden blades. Now it's normally made to mount on a flat ceiling when it comes from the factory, and they give you this rod right here which is only about 3 inches long. And you can see if the fan was hanging down from the rod and we took the blade, it would hit the ceiling over here because your ceiling is slanted. So what I've done is installed this 3-foot rod. It's the same finish as the fan, and it'll bring the fan blades down 3 feet below your ceiling.
And
Be
then
really
this
nice.
is what's going to connect right up to the box. So we got to
That's
wire
right.
that.
This metal bracket will carry the weight of the fan, and it attaches to the pancake box with screws. And this is the brace that will support the fan. And on a vaulted ceiling, this opening needs to be facing upwards towards the high end. And that just attaches with a few screws. And this is how we hang a ceiling fan on a cathedral ceiling with a ball joint. It just hangs automatically, plumb. Now all we need to do is wire it up, tie all the grounds together, the 2 neutrals together, and the 2 hots. One last thing we need to add to this fan is the light kit. I'm going to take this plate off and we're going to tie white to white, black to black. And this is the halogen lamp that comes with it. It's 100 watts and you can't touch the glass with your fingertips. The oil from your fingers will actually shorten the lamp life. Last thing we have is the frosted globe. Okay, all the wiring is finished and the power is back on.
And we have got the remote. You can control the light and the fan separately. Give it a try. Light's on. That's a good sign.
That's good.
Are you guys ready?
Fire it up. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming to Denver and helping me.